Okay, good evening, everybody. Sorry about the late start, but ran into a bit of a glitch in the software. Now, tonight we are going to discuss, among other things, Mother Russia. And the reason we're discussing this is because I have gone through a rather protracted um, discussion uh, with an individual known as Mert Punisher. And Mert Punisher seems to uh, have an issue with me and my live stream. And so she contacted me by direct message. And right off the bat, she said, well, my shows are horrible. And yet she tunes in. And she got on my case for some strange reason, saying that I had no business reading those letters on your show. And the state of Florida had no business putting private communication in public discovery where the lives of whistleblowers will be put in danger, especially your rabid but small following of Timmy haters. And notice she's calling me Whitey again. Now, she also ordered me not to uh, discuss her and this chat on tonight's show, which I told her flat out, well, tough shit they're going on the air. Now, notice the real Christian language here of this Russian person. And right off the bat, she starts saying that if I were to become a Trump supporter rather than stick to my true beliefs, I could make a ton of money, which again supports my contention that Timothy Charles Holmeseth is in this for the money, nothing else but. And hello, Rebecca, all my usual followers, and 3Ds, Crimes and Chaos. Um, so basically, she wants me to lie for money. Now, these chats are not in any particular order, so bear with me. But we have um, this where she wants me to turn against uh, the gay community and so forth, which I refuse to do. I support the gay and trans communities. I don't believe the propaganda that's come out against these people. Tim Holmeseth and his followers are uh, merchants of hate. Hello, Tennessee. Nice to see you in here. And again, we have Mother Russia will bring you to her knees, to your knees. Uh, Now, it is a well known fact that Tim Holmeseth and all the people on the High Command, the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force, and so forth support Russia. They support Russia in their invasion of the Ukraine, and they do not seem to mind the fact that Russia kidnaps children, indoctrinates them into the Russian philosophy. And so we have that. And next we have where she discusses at length her support of Russia. I'm not sure what RHE means, but I think that the green is me. I made a typo. So there's the RHE. Uh, and so, she is definitely homophobic, transphobic, doesn't like anybody that doesn't like Trump and accuses him of all kinds of stuff. And I love the language that Mert Punisher uses. She just loves that mouth. And people in the past have accused me of my profanity, and yet look what we have here. So, it's same old stuff. And I'm going to check and see what we got in the media files, because this is definitely running faster than I thought. And of course, she gets into this real language. And this has been going on. This started on the 20th. And the last message I had out of this individual was today. And it's amazing that these people are this rabid. But again, this is for the money, um, and nothing but. And so let me go on. Yeah, this is her language throughout this whole thing. Um, and for some reason, let's see some more of these files that she puts up. And yeah, if some of you have been following the chat over on Twitter, you will see that I have posted most of these over there. And again, she's making threats against people that she's going to engage in a doxing campaign. Uh, she says she'll be monitoring the live chat, so I would not be surprised if she's in the chat room. Uh, Even though she'll make a promise or a threat and doesn't follow through. Hello, pie in the sky. So let's see what else we got in the. She loves to give me the finger. She seems to know how to use these things that they have on Telegram, where this took place, by the way. Um, yeah, I want to set this up in case, since she's going to be monitoring. And so far, nothing out of her. The last message from her, she called me a cunt. So I thought that was interesting. She seems to think that I'm going to get upset or something with all these. And frankly, I think she's making a fool out of herself. And here again, she's saying, well, why don't you make some money? Support Trump, make all the money, easy pleasy money. But if I was in this for the money, maybe I would consider that. But I'm not. I'm in this for the truth. And this is something that Mert Punisher doesn't seem to understand. Again, another message to make money. Money, 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 money. That's all this woman seems to have on her mind. And this one, this is rather interesting because if you read down, she used to post pictures of Levi, um, and she posted the images in question on Twitter, and Levi reported it to Twitter and got her account suspended. So it'd be rather interesting to go back through the tweet history to see if we could find out who this individual is, because it would come up as an account suspended in the year 2012. But what's interesting here is she did this in 2012. This is 2023. So we're talking about over a decade that this individual has been obsessed with Levi Page. That's how long this person has been going on the internet and stalking people. And it's just, it just is really strange, these people. But, what are you going to do? Let's see what else we got. See, this was kind of a throw together to get this on the record to show people what I've been having to put up with uh, for the last 14 years. Because this person has been around in various usernames since prior to 2013, 2012. Uh, she has, in fact, been stalking me since 2009, which is right in the middle of the Casey Anthony case. She's always been in the background. She's a big lover of Tim Holmes's. She even said that she sent him money at one time. And so I'm going through. And the one thing I tried to do is I kept asking her to put her name where her mouth is. If she's going to say these things, come out behind the moniker and identify herself, because I identify myself. Um, and rather, and she just changes the subject um, all the time. 3D, I've got the names on file, but it's the one she's currently going under now, the one that we suspect of doing all these things, is the time has come. Um, and, you know, because she hides behind this Mert Punisher thing, it's hard to prove who exactly she is. But I'm of the opinion that she's this woman in um Virginia. So we got this deal where this individual uh, comes in and posts under these things just to troll, and really doesn't have much in the way of substance about whatever it is she's griping about. So I'm just going through here. But she was all over the thing with different subjects. She just couldn't uh, stick to one subject, couldn't get into any kind of a line of uh, discussion. She just kept posting stuff like this throughout the entire chat. So getting any kind of a sensible conversation out of this person was like pulling teeth. Well, this is weird. Looks like somebody's decided to troll a chat. This is kind of cute. Mert Punisher, if this was a real one, should start telling the truth and do it in a way that we could verify that this is a genuine individual instead of somebody trolling the chat. But what are you going to do? Yeah, but you know how easy it is to make up usernames on Telegram. Telegram has probably the poorest security of anything. She certainly is not coming in on the Telegram chat, which I have open in case she does. So this is just a figure. But that's all right. Yep, she just posted on Telegram that it's not her in chat. So Mert Punisher is doing what she promised. She is monitoring my chat. Well, I knew it wasn't you because you're a fake Punisher. But you know, that was a quick reaction. So she's in here, folks. So she not a happy camper. That is Mary Lee posing as me. Well, how do you know it's Mary Lee? Who is Mary Lee? Yeah, it's funny because now she's saying that Mary Lee was your girlfriend. Well, Mary Lee was not my girlfriend. She was actually a co-author with Tim Holseth. So you might want to get your facts straight, number one. And I have not been in contact with Mary Lee in years. Um, she is off the internet, or at least off social media. So, let's see what else we have. This is going to be a somewhat brief thing tonight. I get this thing that's funny here is um, about the letters to the state of Florida. Uh, Mert Punisher doesn't seem to understand how the legal system works in the state of Florida, and in the United States for that matter. That was submitted. Um, a crazy Canadian submitted that to the state of Florida. Um, is not a private letter. It is public information. It's subject to public disclosure. Um, you know, she should have thought of that before uh, sticking her nose into the case, and she did the same thing in Canada, which we might as well bring up. Now, this is classic. Read this thing, and this is the text comes off of Tim Holmes's uh, page, and she had sent a 68 page document to the state of Florida, which I got the discovery on and talked about on my show. And then on September 19th, she left a message with the Delphi murder tip line. Said she left the message. After she left her message, her dogs began going crazy in the night. Must be she turned on the light and the dogs saw her and they just went nuts. But, they've been rating on social media about how they think that Richard is Richard Allen is innocent and that Neely Blanchard is innocent and so forth. And what's happened, if you look at the news, all of a sudden, uh, the defense counsel in the Delphi murder case uh, had wanted the trial to be published open cameras, wanted open cameras in the courtroom. Unfortunately, because of alleged actions and so forth, the prosecution is saying that uh, now they want a closed trial. And I have just learned today that the state is considering the same thing in the Nellie Blanchard case. And that is due to things that are going on in the public sector that they may have to petition that cameras not be allowed in the courtroom. So this would be, why don't you tell her yourself, Punisher? Are you a coward or something? Um, but now, what the PPTF and this Canadian woman may have accomplished is that the cameras will not be allowed in the courtroom. In both cases, that there is going to be restrictions that will not allow these cameras in the courtroom. So we're going to have a hard time getting information on these trials. We're going to have to rely on uh, people being inside the courtroom to bring out the news about what's going inside the courtroom. I will be able to cover the Blanchard trial, but I will not be able to cover the Delphi trial because I can't afford to go to Delphi. And so we're going to have to rely on people inside the courtroom coming out and giving a blow by blow uh, thing about what's going on here. So these people have accomplished whatever it is that they were going to accomplish and managed to get the courts closed to the public. So you tell Rebecca I'm a goddamn fucking Christian. Tell her to gobble up some. Well, why don't you prove it? I mean, you're. Matter of fact, I'm gonna. This is interesting. It's gonna take me a minute to bring this into the room. For some reason, this idiot uh, can't bring herself to come into the room. She has to do these things, and I see High Command is in here making an ass of herself. Well, High Command, you managed to get it, so we're going to have a closed court. I hope you're happy, because that's what's going to happen. I don't know. For somebody who says they're a Christian, they sure don't act like it. And let's see. Oh, now we're going to run into problems with this. I'm surprised that she doesn't remember Tinkerbell because um, Tinkerbell was around in the Casey Anthony days. But, you know, All right, now we'll go to here. It's probably a better place to put the layers in. Well, first, I got to upload it. Well, that's what's funny about all this is, this is what a supposed Christian is using this kind of language. So, Richard is a prisoner of war. The PPTF will free him. So you're saying, okay, let's murder two teenage children and then get rid of the guy, and then free the guy that murdered the children. Rebecca, you will be banned. Oh, all right. Yeah, Rebecca, that would probably be a solution to this. Um, oh, yeah, getting Russian agents, I got to travel and get paid. I love how task force comes in here all the time. Oh, what are we going to do, PPTF? Are you going to stage a jailbreak like you almost did up in Wisconsin? You're going to take armed troops and go in there and remove Richard Allen forcibly? It sounds more like your style. You're calling for violence anyway. Yeah, isn't that interesting? That language is from somebody who is supposed to be a Christian, says to their God. And notice some of the spelling errors. I mean, for someone that drinks a lot of alcohol, you'd think she'd learn how to spell it. Rebecca, you will be banned. Yeah, we'll see. What you've done, task force, is you've made it so nobody's going to be able to see the trial anyway. The defense wanted the trial televised, but because you're a Canadian cuckoo bird, um, it looks now like cameras are going to be banned from the courtroom. So it may take people like Rebecca to give us an honest rendition of what's going on in court. Because, the PPTF has managed to censor an American trial. I wonder what the PPTF is so scared of. That they don't want this to be a public trial. But this is where we are. We have foreign agents, we have Russian agents interfering with the American court system, and because of that, uh, we may be denied witnessing this trial. Yeah, they're definitely scared of the truth because this Mark Punisher person keeps her identity secret. So do these other people. I mean, we can't verify who High Command is. Uh, she's been called out a fraud even by Timmy supporters. It's funny. The whole thing over there is rather strange. for anybody to sit there and say that a multi-million dollar airplane is circling Canada all because of her is about as cuckoo as it gets. What purpose would it serve to circle this woman in an airplane? They could take a car and go back and forth. They could use electronics intelligence. And, they wouldn't need to take the expensive route of flying an airplane in circles just because some woman called a tip line and sent some gibberish to the state of Florida. And then we got this weirdo over on Telegram private messaging me with all kinds of crap and threats. But this has been my point for years that these people are not in this for anything other than money. Because high command made that clear. They live great, they travel, more money in the bank than you free. Got to get paid. That's my point here, and it's always been my point that they are only in this for the money. They're not interested in anything else but that almighty dollar. They have all these different uh, e-bag sites all over the place, and then they come in and they make the suggestions. And then they get into all this political crap. Oh, we got a cat fight going on down here. I'm just trying to clean up a little something here. See, it's right here. Let's make that money and bang in the bucks. 'Cause that's all it's about. And it's right there. Punisher was gracious enough to show that the only reason Tim Holmseth does this stuff is for the ever loving dollar. And note that it's not in rubles. I mean, these people love Russia so much they should be accepting rubles instead of the American dollar. So, so that's where we're at tonight, folks. We're basically seeing proof beyond measure that the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force is nothing more than an arm of the Russian government. That their duty is to undermine the United States uh, and to do away with democracy and put in place a type of fascist dictatorship. That these people are not loyal to the United States. They have foreigners coming into the United States and interfering with our political system here. And this Punisher has made it clear that she is loyal to the Russian government, that she is not for democracy, that she is a white nationalist, that she is a bigot, racist, all the things that you can think of. And this is the kind of people that I have to keep putting up with. And this is the same. Well, I can't throw everybody in the same cloth. People are entitled to their opinion. They're entitled to support who they want to support. A good portion of the people that support me on this channel are Trump supporters. But you have this extreme part of the uh, Trump's side that um, take it to the extreme. And they support Russia. This particular group of people support Russia, and this is something that I've been trying to get across for years. That Timothy Charles Holmes says Randy Lynn Erickson are not loyal Americans. This woman on screen is not an American citizen. She's working on behalf of an American ex-president, which makes her a foreign agent. Canada is not part of the United States. And if you're directly assisting in some way, shape, or form someone in the United States for any reason, you are a foreign agent. Period. It's the law. Look it up. But again, they have shown themselves that the only reason they're doing this is to make money. Uh, they want me to set aside any political belief I have, throw my support behind Trump, start a e-bag site like the PPTF and make money off it. And I don't work that way. This channel was not started as me versus Trump supporters. It was me versus people. Whoops. It was me uh, fighting people that were lying about me, calling me whitey, accusing me of um, crimes against children, against being involved in murders, and this whitey business that this Merc Destroyer came up with. That's all it's about. I don't care who believes in who. Um, if you want to believe in Trump, that's your prerogative. That's a democracy. But you don't go around executing people and throwing them in jail because they favor a different political candidate or if they favor a different point of view. Now, what's interesting about this is we're talking about all this. If this had been around in 1776, um, there's a good chance that we'd still be partnered with England or be like Canada to be a province of the United Kingdom because we would have lost the Revolutionary War. There would have been people in France that said, "Don't throw your support behind this revolution," and so on and so forth. Uh, we won the Revolutionary War because of the support of foreign governments, several foreign governments. People need to look at their history and see just how this country was formed. A bunch of guys throwing tea off a boat and going up in the woods and shooting people did not win this war. It was a team effort, not only by Americans in this country who are actually British citizens, but foreigners who came to our aid. It was one of the earliest examples of foreign aid in the world. And if there had been people like Tim Holmseth and Mert Punisher around in those days, we may not have been the United States of America. So that's something to consider and think about in all these things. Just how did this country form? I suggest people start reading the history books and watching some documentaries. You might actually learn something. But you're not going to learn anything from people like Tim Holseth, Randy Crazy, are kookaburras up there in Canada. I don't care what side politically you're on. I don't care if you're left, right, or in the middle. You have a right to your political opinion. But what people don't have a right to is to engage in despicable slander and humiliation because they don't agree with your point of view. And that's exactly what the PPTF is doing. And if anybody thinks that these people are for the children and for stopping pedophilia or any of this other stuff, you're damn fools because that's not what they're there. They're only there for the money. That's about as clear as it gets. You know, and it's right here in their own words. They live great, traveling, more money in the bank than you freaks. Gots to get paid. Yeah, because they have foolish people, gullible people that throw money at them based on the false statements that they're making. All they're doing is running around taking pictures of buildings and everything else. Maybe for the first time in 3 years, Tim Holmseth got on the internet live. But the only thing they've managed to accomplish is now we're going to have the uh, court cases, both of them, censored because of the stuff that the crazy Canadian sent to these two cases. You know, state of Florida is not too happy with what was written to them, and neither is Delphi, Indiana, and the prosecutors in both cases, and even the defense in Florida is saying, well, we may have to go ahead and ban cameras from the courtroom, and that's going to create all kind of chaos. The media is already talking about taking lawsuits to prevent this, but I'm not sure how they're going to do it. But where we're at right now is that the trial has been continued. It's not going to be held in November like was previously scheduled. We're now looking at a minimum January of 2024, and it's highly coincidental that this happened right after Kugelberg went to court and put this nonsense in the court. So now the state has to take a second look at everything and say, well, we may have to petition that cameras not be allowed in the courtroom. Just like by coincidence, right after she called this tip in with the little airplane circling around, that the Delphi prosecutors are now saying that this thing is being turned into a circus and they are going to ban cameras from the court. So, congratulate yourself, Timmy and uh, Kugelberg. You got exactly what you wanted. They are not going to allow cameras in the courtroom in either trial, by the looks of things. Uh, this is going to go back and forth in the courts for the next week or so to determine who's going to come out on top. But in most cases, if the prosecution says no cameras, there aren't going to be any cameras. So, smooth move, X-Lex. You got what you wanted. Um, Now everybody can sit around and wonder what the hell's going on in court. And there's nothing the PPTF is going to do to get that guy out of court. That's up to a jury. It's not up to anyone other than a jury. Now, it's kind of funny that we are going to have all these individuals in jail while all this is going on. Nobody is out on bail. Nobody's free to do anything. Everybody is getting three squares and a cot waiting for this to get through the court system. It's not clear right now if the uh, case is going to be delayed. We are in a situation now where it's all up in the air. We aren't going to know if and when there's going to be trial in either of these cases, and we are not going to know whether or not we're going to have cameras in the courtroom. That option may have been shut because of the antics of one woman out of a foreign country, and um, there's even a rumor that's floating around that the crazy Canadian is trying to get in direct contact with Neely Blanchard. Uh, and unfortunately for her, any contact she makes with Neely Blanchard is public information. There's no such thing as private messaging in the state of Florida. We have an open records law down there, and it will come. Yeah, it would be nice to have cameras in the courtroom, um, in both cases. But if Timmy and Google Bird get their way, we're not going to have cameras in the courtroom. It's going to be a sealed court. And we're going to have to, in Ocala, I can at least observe in the court, because I'm an hour from here. The courtroom is an hour and a half from here. So I'll be able to go to Ocala and cover the trial. But um, what's going to happen now is anybody's guess. It's a hurry up and wait situation. And that's all I have to say for tonight, folks. When I get more information from the court regarding the trial date, I'll get back to you. Their system is acting up again, so I can't get in to get the confirmation date yet. They haven't set a date, but it looks like it's going to be sometime in September for the free trial hearing. And then we're either going to have a trial in January, or it may even go into February. It's a complete question mark. We're in a situation right now that we just don't know what's going on. So please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button, and I will be in contact when something comes up. Until then, everybody have a good weekend and have a good one.